If you're thinking about moving to Toronto, you're probably getting conflicting information online. Some people say it's the greatest city in North America. Other people say it's overpriced, overcrowded, and not worth the headache. Here's the truth. Both of those people are right. And in this video, I'm going to give you the honest version that nobody else is giving you. The real pros and the real cons from someone who has lived and worked in this city their whole life. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what life in Toronto actually looks and feels like. The good, the bad, the stuff that catches people completely off guard. My name's Jordan Abrams. I've been a realtor here in Toronto for over 9 years, and this channel is your honest guide to everything you need to know about living in the Greater Toronto area. New video every week. Let's get into it. Con number 1, the winter, and it's a big one. And I need to be very honest with you about this one. I'm filming this video at the end of March 2026, and yesterday, Toronto got another snowstorm. I looked out my window this morning at snowbanks that are still piled so high on my street that the road has essentially become one lane. Cars squeezing past each other where there used to be 2 full lanes of traffic at the end of March. This year, Toronto recorded over 60 centimeters of snow in a single day in January in some areas of the city. That's a record. And while I want to be fair that December is usually relatively mild and March does give you pockets of warmer weather, the reality is that winter in Toronto runs from December through April. 5 months. And January and February are brutal. I mean, genuinely aggressively cold. We're talking -10, -15 with wind chill on a regular basis. The kind of cold where you walk outside and your face hurts within 30 seconds. Scraping your car at 7 in the morning in -20-degree weather before a commute that's going to take twice as long because of ice on the Gardiner, that's a real Toronto morning in February, multiple times a week for 2 solid months. Some people genuinely love it, a lot of people tolerate it, and every single February I have clients who call me and say, Jordan, what have I done? The honest advice, go into it prepared, invest in a proper winter coat, proper boots, proper everything. Budget for it. Also picking up some winter hobbies like skating, skiing, that really helps the winter go by faster. And remind yourself every single February that June is coming, because June in Toronto makes everything worth it. More on that in a minute. Quick quiz, and I want to see how many people get this in the comments. What's the average temperature in Toronto in January? Is it A, -2, B, -6, C, -10, or D, -15? Drop your answer below, and I'll give you the answer in a few minutes. Those are all in Celsius, by the way. All right, con number 2, property taxes. This one doesn't get talked about enough, and it genuinely catches buyers completely off guard every single time. I had a client recently, small detached house in Midtown Toronto, not a mansion, a modest detached in a good neighborhood. Their property tax bill just came in at over $6,000 a year. That's $500 a month on top of their mortgage, on top of their home insurance, on top of their utilities. And here's the thing, Toronto just raised property taxes again. The city has been increasing them consistently year over year, and there's no sign of that slowing down. When you're running your budget numbers for owning in Toronto, property tax needs to be a real line item, not an afterthought. By the way, if you're in the middle of planning your move to Toronto and you want to know exactly what everything costs down to the dollar, I put together a free 1-page cheat sheet with every single number, rent by neighborhood, take-home pay, full budget scenarios for a family of 4, links in the description, and it's completely free. Grab it. Con number 3, traffic and parking. Let me just tell you a story because nothing I say will illustrate this better than what actually happened to me. A few months ago, my wife and I went to see Trevor Noah at Scotiabank Arena downtown. Amazing show. We get out around 10:30, 10:45, walk to the car, get onto the Gardiner, and we did not move. Not slowly, did not move. For over an hour, we sat on the Gardiner going absolutely nowhere. Just sitting there, engine running, going nowhere for over an hour. That's Toronto driving. That's the reality of the city, especially downtown, especially after a major event, or especially on a Friday night or a weekend. The Gardiner and the DVP are the 2 main arteries in and out of the downtown core, and they consistently rank among the most congested roads in North America. Rush hour on a normal Tuesday can add 45 minutes or an hour to what should be a 20-minute drive. And parking downtown, well, budget $15 to $30 every single time you park near the core. Event nights, even more. My honest advice, and I give this to every single client relocating here, if you can possibly live along the subway line, do it. Give up the car or go down to one car. The math almost always works in your favor, and your stress levels will thank you. And if you're trying to figure out which neighborhood puts you on the subway line and still fits your budget, drop a comment below with where you're moving from and what your budget looks like, and I'll point you in the right direction. Or just text me directly, my number is on screen and in the description, and I answer every single one. True or false? Toronto has the worst traffic congestion of any city in Canada. Drop your answer in the comments. The answer to the question is coming up shortly. The cons are real, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But now let me tell you why people move here anyway, and why genuinely, once most people land in Toronto, they do not leave. Pro number one, the Toronto summer is something you have to experience to fully understand. Here's where I get to tell you the other side of that snowstorm story. Right now, I'm looking out at snowbanks and a gray sky, and I'm counting down the days to summer, to softball season. I've played baseball since I was a kid, and every summer I play in the men's softball league. I look forward to it every single year. Beach volleyball on the waterfront, running along the lake with the skyline behind you. There's genuinely no better city, maybe in the world, to be active and outside in the summer than Toronto. And this summer is extra special for me personally. I've got a baby arriving in a couple months, and I'm already planning the first cottage trip up to the Kawarthas with a friend of mine who has a place up there. Stunning lakes, total peace, 2.5 hours from the city. That's the Toronto summer experience. Softball on a Tuesday night, patios on a Friday, and cottage country on the long weekend. From June through September, the city completely transforms. The patios on Ossington and Queen West, packed every single night with people who are genuinely happy to be alive. The energy is electric. You walk down Ossington on a warm Friday evening, and every restaurant has its doors open, music spilling out onto the street, lineups out the door for some of the best food in the country. And beyond the city, within 2 to 2.5 hours, you have some of the most beautiful cottage country in the world. Muskoka, the Kawarthas, Georgian Bay, and for people who love camping like me, Northern Ontario is world class. Algonquin Park, Killarney, the Bruce Peninsula. People fly from all over the world to camp in places that Torontonians drive to in a couple hours. The summer alone is worth the winters, every single year. January temperature quiz answer. It's B. The average temperature in Toronto in January is -6 degrees Celsius, but with wind chill, it regularly feels like -15 to -20, which is exactly why February is the month that tests every single person who lives here, and why the summer feels like such a reward when it finally arrives. If you're finding this useful and want more honest Toronto content, neighborhoods, the housing market, everything you need to know before you make this move, new video every week, hit subscribe so you don't miss those. Pro number two, the restaurant and dining scene is genuinely world class. I've traveled quite a bit, and Toronto's food scene belongs in the same conversation as New York, London, and Rome. And I mean that seriously. This is not just civic pride talking. This is the reality of what the city has become. The diversity of Toronto means you can eat authentically from virtually every cuisine on earth within a short drive, a quick transit, or even a walk. Kensington Market for international street food, St. Lawrence, one of the best food markets in North America, full stop. Little Italy, Chinatown, Little Portugal, Greektown on the Danforth. Ossington and Queen West specifically have become genuinely exciting dining destinations over the last couple of years. New restaurants opening constantly, chefs who trained in some of the best kitchens in the world coming back to Toronto to open up their own places, and the coffee shop culture, if you work remotely, if you just love walking and having a great space to spend the morning. Toronto has some of the best independent coffee shops you'll find anywhere. You can walk 10 minutes in almost any central neighborhood and find somewhere genuinely great. This leads into pro number three. The walkability changes how you actually live your life. And this one surprises people more than almost anything else when they move here, if they're from a car-dependent city, for example. Because if you live in a central Toronto neighborhood like the Annex, Leslieville, Roncy, the Junction, you can walk to almost everything you need. Coffee in the morning, groceries on the way, restaurants, parks, transit, all of it walkable. The neighborhood feel in Toronto's central areas is genuinely special. It doesn't feel like a city of more than 3 million people. It feels like a collection of small villages that happen to be connected. I've had clients move here from Calgary, from Edmonton, from the US, where they drove everywhere, and within 6 months, they've sold one of their cars or both of them because they simply don't need it anymore. The walkability changes how you experience daily life in a way that's very hard to fully appreciate until you've lived it. All right, the true or false answer. True, Toronto does have the worst traffic congestion of any city in Canada, according to multiple studies, which is exactly why neighborhood selection and proximity to transit is one of the most important decisions you'll make when you move here. Get that right, and the traffic becomes mostly someone else's problem, although you'll still experience it. Pro number 4, there is always something to do. This is the one that matters most for long-term quality of life, especially if you have kids or if you're someone who needs energy and activities around you. Scotiabank Arena, the Leafs, the Raptors, world-class concerts happening year-round. The Rogers Centre for the Blue Jays, TIFF every September, one of the most important film festivals in the world, and it takes over the entire city for 2 weeks. Caravana in the summer, the X, Nuit Blanche, dozens of neighborhood festivals every weekend from May through October. Comedy shows, theater, sports, food festivals, street festivals. You'll actually never run out of things to do. This is not a city where you're bored on a Saturday. And for families, the ROM, the Science Centre, the Zoo, the Waterfront, Toronto Islands. Toronto gives families more to do on a weekend than most cities offer in an entire month. If you're moving here with kids, they're going to have an incredible childhood just like I did here. And if you got questions about anything I've covered in this video, which neighborhood is right for you, whether to rent or buy, where to start, drop a comment below or text me directly. I answer every single one, and my number is on screen or in the description. So here's the honest truth about Toronto. The cons are real. 5 months of winter with 2 genuinely brutal months right in the middle of it. Property taxes that add $500 or more a month to your ownership costs and keep going up every year. And traffic and parking that will test your patience and your wallet on a regular basis. Those things are true, and you need to go in with your eyes open. But the quality of life that the city delivers in return is also real. The summers that make every February worth it, a food and dining scene that belongs with the best cities in the world, super walkable neighborhoods that make you wonder why you ever owned a car, cottage country 2 hours away, and a city that's genuinely, constantly alive with tons of things to do. Next week, I'm putting out a video on the best neighborhoods in Toronto for every budget. The ones I actually recommend to my relocating clients based on 9 years in this market. I'll link it right here when it's live. And if you're seriously thinking about making the move, whether you're buying, renting, or just don't know where to start, I genuinely want to help. I've helped hundreds of people relocate to Toronto over 9 years, and I'm not going to pressure you into anything. Just honest answers from someone who knows this market inside and out. My number's on screen again and in the description. My Calendly link is there too if you want to book a free call. And that free cost of living sheet is down there as well, so grab that before you go. I'm Jordan. Welcome to Living in Toronto. I'll see you in the next one.